Welcome back, folks. I'm Dan.
And I am Joe.
And today we're going to talk about a recent earthquake that happened here in Thailand. But before we do, Joe.
Well, let's please like, subscribe, share the video, folks. Bang that notification bell. You can also follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can also get us on Instagram, our Facebook page, and again, we're trying to grow the community from in to out. So, Dan, we have a great video today, I believe.
Yes, we do. Now, Joe, I got to ask you, what were you doing and where were you when the earthquake happened?
I was in a cafe on near just past Dolphin Circle in North Patio in Alclua. And I'll be honest with you, I was talking to one of our other guys who works with us on the channel, and I was sitting there with a friend. He said he'd felt a shaking, a quick, like an earthquake, a rattle. And Dan, where were you?
I was in my apartment, and it's funny. As it happened, I'd just gotten up when it started, and I thought I was having a head rush. And to be honest with you, I've also had like crampings in my legs, and sometimes I shake. I thought that was it. I thought I had a head rush and cramping. So I thought, It wasn't until I heard objects moving that I said, "Oh, this is an earthquake. This can't be. Earthquakes don't happen around Bangkok."
That's true.
Lo and behold, they did.
And folks, before we get into it, we want to also Myanmar took the direct hit. They took the brunt of this. So let's not forget our hope and our prayers, and we try to help Myanmar out. Dan, a couple of things. Earthquake, as we know, was powerful. It was a 7.7 magnitude. It rattled much of Southeast Asia on Friday, and of course, it's mounting casualties, particularly in Myanmar. Skyscrapers from Myanmar to Thailand. Now, the epicenter of this earthquake, as we said, was Mandalay, Myanmar, the country's second largest city. And this is about 600 miles away from Bangkok. And if you're going to say kilometers, I would say around 1,000. And this, it was shocking. It was some significant damage from this quake, including a total collapse of a skyscraper that was under construction. We'll talk more about that then.
All right. Yes.
Second.
Yes.
But
that's
Dan,
yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just say, one place that was under construction, a skyscraper that completely collapsed in Bangkok, and that looked like demolition. But it wasn't. It was an earthquake, and something else I couldn't believe. See, the reason why I couldn't believe it happened here is because I grew up in California, and where I grew up, we were used to at least the threat of earthquakes. I even remember living through the 1989 Loma Prieta one. But I thought, wow, so it happened here, but then I learned what happened in Mandalay. Oh, Mandalay is completely wrecked. It's like leveled. I mean, Bangkok, it had some damage. It has cracks here and there. They shut down the BTS and the MRT for the night, but opened it the next day. Thailand suffered pales in comparison to what Myanmar.
Oh yeah, and Myanmar, as of the time of this video, over about nearly 700 confirmed dead. This is as of March 30th. Over 18 killed in Bangkok. Mostly in Bangkok. And again, I want to talk a little bit, Dan, about this skyscraper that cracks. The Thai interior minister, and folks, the reason I want to talk about this is 49% of this company, who owned this skyscraper that collapsed, is owned by a Chinese company. So the interior minister has requested to meet the Chinese ambassador to address the Bangkok building collapse. So again, some buildings have cracks, some have more damage than others, but this skyscraping collapse, a team of Chinese disaster management experts went ahead to meet with the interior minister to discuss why the building had collapsed. And this skyscraper, this building was in Bangkok's Chatuchak district. This collapse occurred on Friday afternoon. Of course, this was the tremor, the aftershock of that 7.7 earthquake in Myanmar. So the building pretty much was under construction. It was a 33-story tower. Basically the intention of this building is a new headquarters for Thailand's Office of the Auditor in General. And matter of fact, this went viral. This event leaving at least 17 people dead, 32 injured, and 83 still missing as of Sunday morning.
Right.
The structure, a Chinese state-owned enterprise, was the only skyscraper in Bangkok to collapse, of course, during this, during the aftermath of this earthquake. So,
Right. And and
go
Joe,
ahead.
and something else. Among the reasons why people pay a lot more attention to the casualties in Thailand than they do in Myanmar?
Why is that?
Well, among the reasons, besides the fact that a lot more people travel to Thailand or have been here, other than that, the junta in Myanmar has censored a lot of the news, and it took longer to get out. And so they've censored a lot of the media, and a lot more complex politics are there as far as rebuilding and all that. And that's going to be a real mess. Let's just say
And
it's going to be a lot easier to rebuild parts of
and
Bangkok than it
for
is in.
poor Myanmar, on top of the 7.7 uh, magnitude, there was a 5.1 earthquake that struck about 17 miles north of the second largest city in Myanmar on Sunday afternoon. And this source is according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Again, the second largest city in Myanmar has been devastated by this. So, folks, let us not forget the epicenter of this earthquake was near Mandalay on Friday afternoon. And Dan makes a good point. Our resistance group announces a partial ceasefire. Of course, Myanmar, this doesn't get a lot of press. There is a civil, basically, Dan, would you call it a civil war?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. In
Myanmar,
fact,
yeah,
in
go
fact,
ahead.
here's something else. Among the places that got struck were a rebel-held city, a place that was against the junta. That were rebels. I'm not saying I'm taking sides here. I'm just saying that unfortunately, that rebel force lost their stronghold.
And this is just as we're doing this video. This is off ABC News. It just came across my computer, so I'll read it. Read it. Myanmar's National Unity Government has announced they will implement a 2-week pause in offensive military operations in areas affected by the earthquake starting March 30th, which obviously today is March 30th. This is from the National Unity Government. It is the representative body of the ousted civilian government, for those that are joining us, that was overthrown in 2021 in a military coup. And this is what's led to Dan, to that ongoing civil war. And so there you go, folks. There's a little bit of a background on what's going on in Myanmar also. Let's not forget about that.
That's
You know,
right.
um,
So anyway, yeah, folks. Unfortunately, this is a natural disaster that is being politicized like everything else. And yes, there's a lot that happened. I visited Myanmar about 6 years ago, when it was under a different government, and I was happy to travel then. I wanted to come back and go back and travel more. Fortunately, politics already stopped me from doing so, and now natural disaster plus politics. So it looks like it's going to be a while until I go back.
And as this video is going on, rescue operations here in Thailand, of course, of the building that collapsed. The Chinese embassy said it's going to work closely with the Thai government to ensure a fair process. So, the interior minister is, supposedly all over this. They've been meeting, as we said a few minutes ago. So they're trying to locate folks that are missing, and obviously the first 72 hours is critical of trying to find missing people that are missing, especially following a devastating collapse of that infrastructure. We hope and pray that the rescue teams out there are, getting what they need so they can go find these missing. These are human beings that are missing.
Yeah, that's right. Folks, listen, I don't know if you believe in a higher power or not. If you do, please send thoughts, prayers. And if you
I
don't,
do, yeah.
whatever you believe, send good vibes that way, because people of Myanmar especially need it.
And I on my personal Facebook page, I've helped a few people. I'm not trying to say this to brag. And also in Bangkok, there you have some food and supplies. So I try to at least put financially towards that, because I am in Pattaya here at the moment. So I'll be going to Bangkok probably later in the week, but there are folks that have lost power, and again, I can't imagine how devastated Myanmar is right now. So I'm going to donate to some reputable organizations to try to help out there. Um, it's devastating. So it makes you think. We think we're going through problems, but look here. There's some folks tonight that are wondering if their loved ones are still alive.
Yeah, and I know that feeling, Joe. Have you ever been in an earthquake before?
In Japan, I have. When I was stationed there for 3 years, Japan's a country known for having earthquakes. So yeah,
Right. Okay,
luckily
yeah.
they weren't bad when I was there. They weren't major.
Right. See, I went through a major earthquake, but you also went through a hurricane, and I'll tell you,
Yeah.
it's not a competition. It's not an oppression Olympics. Earthquakes
Mhm.
suck, and hurricanes suck too. And believe me, I don't think one suffered worse than the other as far as that goes.
So,
Those are
folks,
two big.
and again, folks, we hope if you can help anyway, contact the International Red Cross. I'm sure they're out there on it. Other countries are sending food and aid to Myanmar, and also what I found interesting is listening to Thailand, the Prime Minister. She was wanting to know why the emergency system, and allegedly that what I don't know for sure, but supposedly that wasn't working properly, supposedly. So I know she did question it. We can also use these tragedies as for learning experiences. So tragedies are always going to be there, whether it's an earthquake or, like you said, a hurricane, a tsunami, whatever it is. But we can do is try to prepare the best we can for it. So
That's right.
anything, folks, you can do out there to help, try doing that. Dan, you got anything else?
Well, like I said, I know what the people went through as I know that feeling of terror when it's complete helplessness. And yes, I was very fortunate. And luckily it was far not even close to the worst earthquake I ever experienced personally. But I understand what those people went through, and yeah, like I said earlier, thoughts and prayers. Other than that, folks, shall I
Yeah.
do the outro now? Please,
Well,
like.
real quick, Dan. Something just came across some other luxury condos. They're talking about how newer buildings across Bangkok have showed massive cracks, some splitting floors. Uh, a survivor ran down 40 floors, and some of these newer condos that have built are showing a lot of cracks, and the older condos in Thailand seem to be holding up a lot more. I just wanted to tell the folks that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, all right, folks. Please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification bell. Please follow us on at least one of our accounts: Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. It just makes me feel warm inside. All right. Have a good one, folks.
all right. Take care. Dan, take care. Have a great day, night, wherever you're at.